Who are the
they
Bills?
So their first round, obviously they blew out the Denver Broncos. Their second one, they played the Baltimore Ravens, where they win 27-25. Mark Andrews drops a two
No, no,
point.
no. Let's before we even get to that,
Go on.
Mark Andrew drops a fumble.
Oh, that's true. That fumble was game changing.
I
That was soul crushing.
Yeah, so he dropped the 2-point conversion that could have made it into an overtime game. Um, but then again, Buffalo still has some time, right? No.
No, no, this was with like 4 seconds left,
Yeah, it
I
was the
believe.
last play of the game. That's
Yeah.
right. But anyway, so with that, a lot of people are like, "Oh, Lamar Jackson does it again. He just does not perform well in the playoffs." Yes, he had an interception, but he was 18 for 25, 2 touchdowns.
He also had a fumble, but both of those were in the first half. And then the second half, he literally played flawlessly.
Yeah,
And that like 90-yard drive to even get this touchdown was, again,
miraculous.
yeah, but again, we always have to, for some reason, it's only Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts that no matter what they do in a game, they have to play perfect games or they're allowed to be criticized. Like
Mhm.
it's like this. Mahomes has played what, one good, maybe two good games this entire season, and everybody still has to be like, oh, well, he still leads his team to victory. Let's not look at any of the stats, but you know. So when it came to Lamar Jackson in this game, he had a rough first half, a flawless second half, and put it on the money into the tight end's hands to send this game into OT. There was not one time during this game where I thought the Ravens were the worst team compared to the Bills. Like, I
I
don't.
no, I thought I mean, I couldn't say they were better, but I feel like they were toe for toe. Like this was a fun game. I enjoyed this game. It was everything I wanted from these 2 teams,
Yeah,
in my
and
opinion.
I agree. And again, I still don't think what is it? I still don't think you can put this game on Lamar Jackson, but if you have to give a percentage of blame, maybe 10% for the interception and fumble, but again, those were in the first half of the game. It's not like they were, fourth quarter
But it
or
was still obtainable.
yeah, and then Derrick Henry at 16 carries, 84 yards and a touchdown. Now, but again, in this game, it's Lamar Jackson. It's 6 carries, 39 yards. Why is he not? Why is there not one quarterback run designed from this entire offense, this entire game? They
Well, you know
nobody can
what?
stop him.
And they didn't really do that much with, let's be fair, they didn't do that much with Josh Allen. I mean, he had a few carries, but it was all, like, with
Yeah, he had a tush push basically.
yeah.
Both his touchdowns were tush pushes, but or his rushing touchdowns, which he had two of. He did 10 carries, 20 yards, two touchdowns. His passing,
Those were off of, like, just trying to get a first down or a scramble kinda situation.
yeah, and then he was 16 for 22, 127 yards, zero touchdowns, zero interceptions. Had less rushing yards, less passing yards than Jalen Hurts, but
It's
again,
crazy. The Ravens had a total of 416 total yards to the Bills' 273.
yeah.
That's almost
Again,
dude.
the Bills are they are really good at just bend don't break. They just don't let you score. They're one of the best at just giving up yards and not giving up touchdowns.
Gotcha.
But
I think it was you that sent me that graph that yep, the matchup and the most total yards and the winners. So, the matchup, most total yards, for the Texans Chiefs, Texans. Who won? Chiefs. Same Washington Lions, total yards, Lions, Washington won. Rams total yards, Eagles won. Ravens total yards, Bills won. That is a crazy graphic.
yeah. Also, a crazy graphic is the turnovers committed by the winners of all those games, zero. So the Eagles didn't turn the ball over, Commanders didn't turn the ball over, Chiefs didn't turn the ball over, Bills didn't turn the ball over. Not once in any of those games. And if you look at it, who did turn the ball over? We just talked about it. Lions turned it over 5 times. The what is it? The Ravens turned it over twice. So it's like it really is, especially in these cold snow games, which
Which,
both
by the way,
the
that was
Eagles
fun
and
having 2
Bills.
snow games in the same day.
Yeah. And
That was fun to watch.
also, this is a narrative I saw coming out of both these games, Casino, which is, are snow games, do you like them in concept or do you like them watching the games?
I like all of it.
I do too.
You know
I
what?
don't care
I
that you
I
play
I
sloppy.
want them to play on real grass. I want them to play in all elements, wind, rain, snow, sleet, like, you're a professional football player, play. You
Yeah.
don't need a dome, you don't need perfect AC, you don't need perfect squishy AstroTurf, like, I'm over it. Well, AstroTurf sucks, by the way. Just go back to straight grass. That's where more players get hurt, but
But now with the
it's
Lamar
cost
Jack
effective.
we'll do this last bit on Lamar Jackson, then we'll preview Bills Chiefs. Uh, Lamar Jackson in his career has 3 playoff wins. The quarterbacks of those 3 teams that he beat were Ryan Tannehill, CJ Stroud in his rookie year, and Russell Wilson, now. So does that say more about the Ravens or does that say more about Lamar Jackson?
I think it's the Ravens.
I do too. Are we sure that again, Lamar Jackson is putting up numbers we've never seen before. He's played good in his last 4 postseason
I mean, we
games.
like the Harbaughs, but I mean, come on now, man.
Yeah, they're again the play calling, the no running, and again, this isn't one of those things where Lamar gets no blame. He gets blame for the turnovers because again, no turnovers, and you win this weekend, according to what I just read. So yeah, I don't know. I don't again, Ravens are weird. I don't know who to put the blame on. But now
Moving on.
Casino, with the recap out of the way, let's talk about Bills and Chiefs. And
Oy
when it
vey.
comes to Bills Chiefs, this is absolutely insane. I'm going to pull this up right now. This is apparently real. If anybody wants to correct me, you can. But I've seen this everywhere and I've seen nobody saying this is bullshit. This is absolutely insane. So, for those listening, the last 5 games or the last 10 games these teams have played, they've both won 5 and lost 5. They've both scored and scored each against each other 251 points. So it is 5 wins, 5 losses. They've both scored the same amount of points and had the same amount of points scored against them. That is absolutely insane. That is insane. How is that even possible?
I don't
And
know.
this is, and then obviously you see this little one in the corner. Josh Allen has a record of 0-3 versus the Chiefs in the playoffs. So he's never beat them in the playoffs. All his wins are in the regular season, which we saw again.
Yeah, and
That
that's
just happened here. And then let me show you also this one, which is Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes head to head in their career, regular season and playoffs. This is before the last game they just played. But Josh Allen or the team points, yeah, blah blah blah. But the total touchdowns, 22 touchdowns from Josh Allen. Mahomes is 19. Josh Allen has 5 turnovers, and Patrick Mahomes has 9. Obviously, Mahomes is also 3-0 against Josh Allen in the playoffs. So
you wanna know what pisses me off? Is I'm reading the preview on the ESPN, app of these 2 teams playing, right? And of course, what do they have to bring up? The Bills have James Cook, Amari Cooper on offense, Gregory Rousseau, and Von Miller on defense, while the Chiefs will have Travis Kelsey, DeAndre Hopkins, Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie on the field on Sunday night. They'll also almost certainly have Taylor Swift in a luxury suite too. It's like, why? This is an ESPN report about 2 teams. Why is she into this?
Also,
Why?
this is I thought I would also throw this one in there. This is the last stat I had, Casino, but so if you see it right there, it says most consecutive playoff games without an interception in NFL history. Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts are tied right now with 6 consecutive games.
You wanna know why? Is
So
because all of his interceptions get called back
that's yes. In those games, Mahomes
on a
had
flag that comes out 5 minutes later.
yeah. Mahomes, that was one of the things where it said half of Patrick Mahomes' interceptions have been called back because of penalty and not like defensive pass interference or something like that,
No,
like
remember
a
we talked about
holding call.
we talked to about the Brady one, and it was like Mahomes has hit that in 7 years, and Brady, for interceptions called back, Brady had, I think it was like the same amount in 20 plus years.
Yeah, that's crazy. But in that 6-game stretch, Mahomes had 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns. Hurts had 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns. Also, Hurts is 12-0 in his last games. He
Yeah.
started and finished 29
So
touchdowns, 300,
So
three turnovers.
speaking of the turnover stuff, so this is where the turnovers I think is going to hurt the Chiefs because the Bills, they are a league best with a plus 24 turnover differential
That's crazy.
in the regular season, and they're plus three, and they're plus three in the two playoff games. The Chiefs were plus six in the regular season, but guess what? They're plus 11 and have not lost a turnover since playing Buffalo in Week 11.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But it comes down to who you pick in casino.
I'm
Chiefs or
going the
Bills.
Bills. I'm going the Bills. I don't care that they're the Chiefs. I know they're playing in an Arrowhead, but I've seen the Chiefs waver many times in Arrowhead this year against teams that, you know, shouldn't even be close to beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead. I think the Buffalo goes in there and do what they did earlier this season, and they take them down in Kansas City.
At the beginning of the season, what was my Super Bowl prediction, casino?
It's Eagles, Chiefs, and you're going Eagles, Chiefs. That's fine.
Yeah. That's honestly what it is. I gotta stick it out because literally at the beginning of the season, preseason pick was Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl.
Right. But so this season though, why I'm Bills, Josh Allen he's not injured. He looks pretty fresh still. I think a lot is because he was able to hand the ball off to James Cook a lot this year. So he was able to rest his body and not be as beaten up. And I think he's planned. I think his whole game plan this year was for the Chiefs. There's a lot of talk about the Chiefs. They expect to play the Bills twice a year, once in the regular season, once in the playoffs, and in doing so, that they plan for the Chiefs before preseason starts, or they plan for the Bills before preseason starts. That's a great mentality, but you don't think Buffalo's not doing the same thing? I think Josh Allen has prepped himself for this year to play against Andy Reid and the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think that's why there's just something about this season. All the other seasons it was like, "Oh, Buffalo's good, they can do it. Buffalo's good, they can do it," and they just haven't been able to do it. This is I know the Chiefs are 15-2, but this is the year where Chiefs look vulnerable. Like all the other years, the Chiefs look just top tier, nobody could touch them, and it was a hope that the Bills could beat them. This year, the Chiefs can be beat. They're 15-2. Yes, they only lost the real one game against the Bills. The other one was because they rested everybody. But there's something off about this team. I know they squeak out the wins, and I know, good teams can do that and whatnot. But Buffalo's beat them once, and there's just something about Josh Allen this year that seems different with this team. This team seems different. There's there's no Stephon Diggs over there to, causing ruffles in the team between him, Josh Allen, and the coach. And this year, I haven't heard anything bad about the Buffalo team. Like there's no noise in that camp outside of Josh Allen being MVP. That's the only noise. I don't hear anything else. And I think that
Well,
is a recipe for success for this team. And I really think going into this game, everybody's talking about Patrick Mahomes and his whole sliding debacle, and bending the rules and this and that. I wonder if he leans into it or if the refs are like, okay, well, maybe we just can't do that as, we're going to have to lay off that because that's what everybody's expecting to happen. And, we don't want it to look like we're just feeding into that. I really think that flop that he did on the sideline, and
yeah.
luckily there was a no call, but that flop that he did, and he was trying to draw the penalty, I think that's gonna raise a lot of attention. And I think that the refs, no matter even if they're told not to, or even if they're favoring the Chiefs, they're going to think twice on throwing a flag in that kind of a situation because yes, you might hear it from Roger Goodell or whatever in the NFL trying, conspiracy or thoughts of the NFL trying to help the Chiefs out, but they're going to hear it from the fans. And like, what do you want? Like, does Roger Goodell want to go, okay, Well, if we continue doing that, say that I'm just saying this is if this is a thing,
Yeah,
Roger
yeah.
Goodell saying, okay, do we piss off the fans and possibly lower viewership or possibly, but then again, everybody hates a villain, loves a villain. So we'll see. But I just question that. I think the Buffalo Bills can take them down. I know that was a long explanation on why I think the Buffalo Bills can beat the Chiefs, but I think it all holds water.